we have liftoff.
Yeah, we do, buddy.
Good day, everyone. What time we're recording this in the evening. But
Well, kind
if
of.
you're listening to this in the morning, good morning. If you're listening to it in the afternoon, good afternoon. If you're listening to it in the evening, good evening. Good to see you, Mark.
Good to see you too, brother. How are you?
That's a very long intro. Yeah,
All good.
I
Still
am
good.
very well. Very well. Very hot. We were just talking off air. It is roasting here in the UK. 34 degrees?
It is where you are. It's 37 where I am,
Yeah.
and
is hot.
my flat's currently 31.
Yeah. And for those Americans who listen, no aircon in the UK. If you're lucky to have an aircon unit, perfect. But we are sweating it out.
Yeah, we are, and it's just this is still early. We've still got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday of this temperature's getting hotter as well.
Yeah. I heard like the end of the week's like 36, right?
It's supposed to hit 40 degrees in London by Friday.
Whoo, mama!
Yeah, and I'm going to be in London Thursday and Friday, and I'm at an event on Friday, which is going to be it's at Tobacco Dock, the Longevity Summit. So that's going to be a fun one to be inside on.
Have they got aircon there?
Bloody hope so. I really hope so, because otherwise it's going to be a sweat fest. It's going to be horrible.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's been interesting. It really has. And we're going to share some tips and tricks for you guys today, nutritionally and lifestyle-wise. We can support your body. But, yeah, I'm glad. Do you know what? I'm grateful that we went away, building up a bit of tolerance to this climate that we have. And it was much higher UVs, right? What we had.
Yeah,
you had 14.
Ours is Abu Dhabi was
15.
Malaysia was 13. Here right now is 7.
7.
Well, it was 7 at midday.
Yeah.
So it's probably about 3 now, give or take.
Yeah, so it's gone down, but my God, I had to run off to get this Ethernet connection, and walking back post legs was interesting, but yeah, consider it steps and cardio.
Yeah, I've got legs tomorrow, so that's going to be a fun one.
But has your gym got air conditioning or not? Yeah, ours hasn't, dude. It's like old school unit.
Yeah.
And we're having a load of work done to our gym because they're expanding it. So they've condensed 2 units into one, and I have a separate one. And I was doing a load of hip thrusts and trap bar deadlifts on Friday in this heat because that's when it sort of kicked off. And it was no aircon, no air whatsoever, 35 degrees inside. It was hell. It was so hot.
This is how it used to be with CrossFit in the UK, because obviously, like, they're all garage gyms, all of them. They're all warehouse gyms, and so they've all got big, industrial fans on the floor and on the ceiling. But that basically, as you know, fans just blow the hot air around. They don't cool anything down. And you're obviously in there doing WODs. Fuck me, mate. That used to kill me off. Like, and people are like, why do all the guys in CrossFit not wear shirts? That's why, because the majority of it's done in a hot country, and you don't want to be wearing a shirt, because if you do, it's just going to be wet within a minute. So you might as well just take it off and just sweat it out. It was horrible. Horrible. Yeah. Fun, but horrible nonetheless.
It's been really tough. It's been manageable, but it's been tough. But we'll go into some tips and tricks, because I want to hear more importantly, because Mark did a wicked speaking event on the weekend. So tell everyone what you did.
I did. So this was for it's a company called Mumbles Forum. You can check them out on Instagram. Huge. It's a big wellness space for women, majority. Run by women, all aimed at women. And they started last October an event called the Elevate Summit. And I was speaking there. And that was about peptides for skin health and skin longevity. And that went really, really well, because then they only put it together in like 30 days, and they did it in the middle of London. This building was being rebuilt, so it looked like very chic way of styling it. Like, lights didn't have anything on; there were literally lights hanging from the ceiling, all that kind of stuff, which looked pretty cool. Yeah. This year, the owner did it really well. She basically rented Fulham Palace's brand new Fulham Pier Football Club stadium.
Yeah.
And it's huge, right on the Thames. The views are incredible. It's literally just go to Putney Bridge and you take like a 15-minute walk along the Thames and you get to Fulham Pier, and it is huge. And she pretty much rented the whole place. Not all of it, because obviously they still have to let people come in and all the rest of it, but she rented the majority of it. Yeah. And the event was there. And dude, so I spoke on 2 panels this year. So I did the biohacking diet and the gut hormone energy axis, which was myself, a lady called Tina, who's lovely, and my friend Kate, who's also very lovely. And then I spoke on a panel to do with health in the age of AI, which we've already had many conversations about.
Yeah.
And that was me, a lady called Terry, and then a very well-known influencer called Coral Pearl, I think her last name is. And she's got a massive podcast. And she's basically just a longevity influencer. I say that's very disrespectful. She is a longevity influencer, big following, mum, wife, all that stuff. And it's basically how you can basically use biohacking and longevity while you're in that kind of space. And that one was really, really good as well. Like I really enjoyed that because obviously we've spoken about this before when it comes to like health and AI.
Yeah.
And one of the questions I got asked was like, what's my opinion on health and AI? And I was like, look, data set wise, tracking wise, it's great, but people are using Claude, ChatGPT like you used to be able to do Dr. Google. You type in any symptom in Google and all of a sudden you're dying, and that's basically what's happening with AI. You give it your blood results and it's just spitting out all this random stuff. And we've had this conversation before about how a friend of mine had a cardiac score done and Claude told him that he was literally 24 hours away from a heart attack. And then he sent me his results. So I did the analysis and said, there's nothing wrong with you, dude. Your heart's incredibly strong. You are nowhere near a heart attack.
Yes.
And what I figured out was Claude, because it doesn't, when you give AI like a PDF, it can't pass the data the way that it looks. So for us, we've got marker, like test marker result. It doesn't read it like that. I don't know if you've ever seen an MD file, a markdown file. That's basically how AI reads these PDFs, and it took the wrong digit in the wrong place. So there was one above each other like that, and then the marker, and what it had done, it switched them. So as far as Claude was concerned, he was literally like an hour away from having a full-on heart attack. This was
CRP's high.
So,
yeah.
Right. So this is why I was like, look, and I told that exact same story. I was like, look, it's great, but we always have to remember with AI and these data trackers, they're great when there are questions. When there's no questions, no symptoms, no reasons to be using them, they are just randomized large language learning models, and all they've got is access to the internet, so they could pull information from literally anywhere. So they could pull it from some random Reddit forum where some guy thinks he's a doctor and said, no, this means this, and all of a sudden the AI is telling you that.
Yeah.
That's not the way to go. When I'm using AI to help me, if I'm doing like a really complicated test result kind of analysis, which I was doing for a client not long ago, where he had a terrible motorbike accident, broke his spine, spiral fractured his arms, had traumatic head injury, and he's been put on what's it called? I forget the name of the drug now. Anyway, he's been put on this very strong nerve agent drug, which basically reduces the pain. So we've got like blood tests, we've got neurological testing, we've got neurotransmitter testing, we've got toxin tests, and we've got gut tests. We've got all that data. I analyze all of them and I know what I've seen.
Yeah.
All I then do with my AI, the way that I've programmed it, I've basically created a skill within Claude, which basically is, this is what I'm after you to do. And you do it in these orders, in these frames, with these specific markers. You've got access to my data, because everything I do, I put up into a Google Drive, or I use Obsidian, like a second brain. And I'm like, right, you've got access to all these things. What I need you to do is make sure that I've not missed anything, or I've made an incorrect correlation, or is there a contraindication with the supplementation that I've chosen, which goes badly with the medication that he's currently on. Pregabalin, I think that's what he's on. Anyway, I can't remember. And then once the AI checks all of that, it will tell me what I've missed, because it's got phases to go through. And then the simpler thing that it does at the end is I'm like, right, rather than me now making a document out of all of this, you've got my branding colors, you know the order that I want it in, you know that I want blood results first, reasonings, answers. Then you know I want the gut test next, then I want the neurotransmitters, then I want the toxin test, and then I want how does this all connect to your health questionnaire answers. And then all I want you to do is just brand it and put it into a document for me. It puts it into a document. I then load the document. I then format it properly. I make sure everything fits properly. I make sure everything's in the right ranges. I make sure everything's in the right orders. And then the document is done. What would take me 2 hours to create as a document, it does it instantly. And then all I've got to do is change it. So this is where AI is really, really helpful, because when you've got really complex things to go through, you can miss things. You know, it's that whole typical what you aim at determines what you see. So if I've already got a pre-built like expectation, that's what I'm looking for. Where AI doesn't have that. What I have is context. What I have is the understanding of the individual. AI doesn't know him. I do. So that's where it misses. So that talk went really, really well. And obviously, as you know, I have a business partner in the SignsBeat Yishi ring. So that was a nice bit of topic of conversation as well. So it went really, really well. Lots of connections, lots of helping people. Like, you know, it's great when you step off stage and you've got like a queue of people waiting to ask you questions and stuff like that. Like, it's genuinely a really nice thing, because people say, oh, I've got this problem. What do you recommend? What test should I do? Should I do this test? Should I do that test? And I'm like, no, that's too expensive. You don't need that test. Just do that. Like, it's just a nice way of being able to reframe these things for people, just to be able to help them become sovereign in their own right. Like, I was actually having a conversation with a client today about this. I was like, the whole point of what I do and what we do is to create sovereignty, to decentralize health, so that way then you are the owner of it. You are the one that is determining what you do. That's what this whole podcast is about. It's just to basically give people the tools so they can make their own Batman utility belt for their health, so they know what to do, rather than giving it to somebody else and saying, I don't know, you do it. Like, it doesn't work that way. You know, it's good to know the reasons why you're doing these things. So it went very, very well. Thank you, brother.
Good. It's so funny you say that, with a Batman utility belt and having the power to great way of looking at it, a decentralized way. I feel like maybe because I'm sort of been really doing a bit more research, improving my content at the moment, really getting to know the problems of our clients. And I felt like it's becoming worse. People reliant on AI for a lot of things. Don't get me wrong, it's amazing. There's certain elements to it that I use in my business. I don't use it to fully build protocols like you just yet. We were going to discuss that off air, because I think it just will help speed up and help us help more people. But the trouble I find is people become, like you said, too reliant on it. Literally chuck in their results in ChatGPT and go, read this, without properly prompting it, like you said. And this is where it gets wrong, because it's pulling all sorts of information from the internet, which is going to be very, very biased, isn't it?
Yep, very much so.
And cherry pick certain things that, you know, that we kind of we highlight anyway, that are problems. Like, oh, your cholesterol's really high, therefore your risk for cardiovascular disease is really, really, really high. But we know that that's very out of date by good 20 years. That study where cholesterol, you know, don't get me wrong, LDL is still a very good indicator, isn't it, for cardiovascular risk. But we've got homocysteine, haven't we? We've got CRP, we've got ferritin, we've got other markers that you can monitor for cardiovascular health. We won't just cherry pick cholesterol.
Yep.
Because
you've got metabolic stuff as well. You've even got like VO2 max and those other types of things, which are going to help you understand your cardiovascular fitness levels as well. Because if you're sedentary, well, you're probably going to have much more higher risk of a cardiovascular event than you are for somebody that's not sedentary. But then saying that, you go too extreme and you go too cardiovascularly driven, and you run all the time and you're always doing high intensity stuff, well, you're putting a lot of strain on the heart. And, you know, we know from runners that the only part of the heart that has hypertrophy is the left ventricle. It's the only part of the heart that grows. And so the more you use it, the bigger that side of the heart becomes. Well, that's not a good thing either. We're not meant to be running all the time. So again, it's about, as we've said many, many times, this is about balance. This is about not being extreme at either end. It's about making sure, you've got a good solid fitness base. And if you're of a certain age where you can't run, cool, then walk. There's many things that you can do to improve that cardiovascular fitness. Like, I'm not doing massive amounts of cardiovascular work at the moment. I do it once or twice a week, but I walk every day. I do about 10 to 16,000 steps a day. Yeah. And that's just not obviously just indoors. That's me deliberately going out and walking because it's so lovely. That's the benefit of it being light for such a long period of the day, I can literally go out at 4:30 in the morning and the sun doesn't go down until 9:30 at night. Like I've got a very long time to be outside, which is great. So, you know, there's many things you can do from the cardiovascular side of things. You've got obviously like ApoA. You've got all these different markers that you can use for cardiovascular kind of things. But as you say, like AI will read it like a GP would. And again, no disrespect to GPs, where you're looking at one marker in isolation. Well, we know nothing in the universe functions in isolation. And unfortunately, Western medicine, and again, I brought this up in the talk about, you know, the gut hormone energy axis. The first thing I said was, the one thing I want you guys to remember from this beginning part of this talk is that's not three separate things. That's one thing. The body doesn't have separations. That, yes, okay, we've labeled things like endocrine system, gut, the liver system, the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? Yeah, great. We've got all these separations, but ultimately the whole thing is one loop. It's one terrain. You know, like if you look at the earth, it's split into many different things, you know, mountains and fields and rainforests and rivers and streams and lakes and sea and whatever else and deserts and whatever. Well, it's one ecosystem. That's the body. The body is one ecosystem. There is no separation. Everything is working synergistically together. The more myopic you become, the more you try and focus in on that one thing. Well, you're now focusing on that 0.0001%. Well, how much is that going to move the needle? Not very much. We need to look at the whole thing in its entirety. And this is unfortunately what happens when you utilize AI in that regard. It was look at one marker, you know, as you just stated, for like cardiovascular health, ferritin, all those other types of markers, they all correlate. They all come together. Yeah. And all they do is increase that probability percentage of what we're trying to, what we will eventually say to somebody. You know, out of all the blood markers that we've looked at, or any other test that you've got, I saw in your bloods X, Y, and Z. I saw in your gut X, Y, and Z. That means that the probability of there being like a liver issue is now 90%. That's not saying it's 100%, but there's now a 90% probability that there's something going on in the liver. And I'm not saying you've got liver disease. I'm not saying that your liver's like fatty or you've got non-alcoholic fatty liver disease or anything like that. I'm just saying to you that there's an issue within the liver system somewhere, and we now need to look at that. Like that's just how it all connects together, and that's the bit that you won't get with AI. It will just myopically focus on just the ranges on its own. So I've trained mine to basically read the same way that I read, because the same way that we read, where you don't look at markers in isolation, that there's reasonings behind them and then there's connections between those reasonings. And I've taught it to do that. It's taken me a long bloody time, but that means that I don't miss things, because I will miss things. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. We will miss things. And it's important that we don't do that, because, you know, we're talking about somebody's health here. So if AI can assist us, why not?
Yeah, no, it's interesting, because I I had a consult today with a chap who said, "Oh, hands up, I've done this as well, but I recently retested them. I'm trying to get my head around it. I can't do it. You know, this is where we come in and support people." It's like, well, yeah, you wouldn't just hand your blood results to your plumber, would you? You know, but yeah, context matters. And this chap, bless him, getting really, bad bloating. I'm suffering with my energy. Some days are great, and some days I just wake up with brain fog, and then I'm, lethargic. Certain foods don't react well. I was like, cool, let's find out a bit more information. Are you exercising in the gym? Yeah, I'm in there 6-7 days a week. It's like, whoa, boom, red flag right there. What do you mean red flag right there? I thought we have to train more. I'm like, well, depends what you do, but what are you working towards? Oh, I'm competing in high rocks. It's like, right, well, that is heavy, high intense training, and that load, unless you've really dialed in your nutrition and your sleep, your recovery, I'm not surprised that unfortunately you're dealing with low energy, brain fog, bloating, gut health issues, stubborn fat that won't move, because you are doing too much. You may not feel it, you might not feel stressed, but you can't see internally what's going on. But through your blood work, you can get it clear as day. And I highlighted again, this is where it's been missed. this marker, this marker, this marker. This can, tell us an indication that you got like low stomach acid, low LP, low GGT. Your vitamin D score is low. Your magnesium score is low. Your testosterone is the same as a 90-year-old man. There's patterns here. Also, give me context. Like, how long are your workouts? Oh, they could be like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. It's like, well, that's too much, mate. Unless you are halfway through your workout, supplying your body with some form of easy digestible carbohydrate, some form of liquid, electrolyte, coconut water, or some really high ratioed electrolyte. Brilliant, but it's just too much. It is way too much, and you are not giving your body the thing it needs. And this is where we come in. We've sort of seen so many of these patterns, and sometimes you get like the odd one, don't you, Mark? Like, oh man, this is out of the blue. This is abnormal. Like liver enzymes that are like triple over the limit. And then you got, that's when we obviously refer out, guys. We're not miracle workers. But there's a time and a place. But this is the issue, Mark, isn't it? I've tried to guess and try to stab at it. I've tried taking this supplement, spent it on this peptide, taking Monjaro, I'm taking this, and it's just a chemical cocktail, and it's doing more harm than it is any good. So
Agreed.
Yeah, there's pros, but there's also cons, right? So
But listen, dude, this is all for all of you that have watched The Matrix. I don't know if it was, I think it was like the second one where they were sat in the restaurant and the guy was talking about causality, action and reaction. Like, that is how it is. For every action, there's an opposite to equal reaction. So if you are training at that intensity and you are training that often, the opposite to that is, well, you don't have time to recover then. That's just how it is. So that's the trade-off. So, yes, you need to train hard to do high rocks. There's no doubt. Same way when I was doing CrossFit. No doubt, I have to train hard. I have to reach a certain level. But then I didn't know about all the stuff I know now. And I was doing the same thing. I was training 6 days a week, 7 days a week. I was doing swimming. I was doing Olympic lifting. I was doing running. I was doing rowing. I was doing gymnastics. I was doing bodybuilding. I was doing all of it.
yeah.
And then I'm wondering why, when I get my biological age test done, that I'm 22 years older than what I should be. It's like, well, there we go. Like, there's the trade-off, right?
Yeah.
And we know from what we've seen, there's not a single athlete out there that works at that level of high intensity that doesn't have a leaky gut straight away. You know there's going to be permeability there. I mean, there's generally permeability anyway. There has to be, but there's a certain level that you don't want, and that's again, I was having this conversation with somebody today. Like, there's always permeability because the large intestines, small intestines have to have permeability. There's a controlled permeability, and then there's an out of control permeability, like a cliff being eroded by the sea. Like, that's not what you want. You don't want everything spilling into the system, because now you've got inflammation from your training, you've now got inflammation from the leaky gut, and now your body's in systemic overdrive and it's got no chance to recover because it's never been given that signal that it can. It doesn't feel safe, it feels traumatized, and now everything is building upon itself, and you're wondering why your libido's down on the floor, you've got no testosterone, you can't recover, you feel tired, you've got brain fog, anything you eat makes you bloat out, and all the rest of it that goes along with it, bad skin and all the rest of it. Yeah, cool, we know why. So it's just then about the trade-off. What's more important, really, And that's where that with the AI, that's where context doesn't come in. We'll ask those questions because we know that success leaves clues. And after doing this for however many years now we've been doing this, we know these things. We've seen them before. It's only, as you say, it's very rare that we come across like a really kind of holy shit. Like, that's unusual. Like, it's probably one out of however many hundreds, but still, success leaves clues. And so it's very easy for us to then sit back and say, right, I've seen this before. I'm not saying this is exactly what it is, but I've seen these patterns before. And with these patterns, I can potentially, I could with 80% accuracy say this is the path it's going down and this is what the outcome's going to be unless we do something about this right now. Like, that's where we come in. And, as you say, we can't look at everything. We can't do everything. We're not superhuman. But at the same time, if somebody's struggling and, they're trying to chuck a peptide and a supplement and whatever else at it and it's not moving the needle, well, then there's something missed there. And that's where we come in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said, dude. But it sounds like it was a good talk. Yeah.
It was amazing. It was amazing. As I said, like
Yeah.
I love meeting all these new people. I love making all these new connections because opportunities come from that. You know,
Yeah.
somebody can then come
Very
up to you
true.
and say, right, I love what you do. This is what I do. How can we collaborate? How can we work together? Well, that's great because now I get to help them. They get to help me, but I also get to help their clients. They get to help my clients. It's a great place because now it's not just you. It's
No.
you and a virtual team, I guess, in that
Mm.
way. You know, or somebody might know somebody that knows somebody that might be able to help you with this thing. Like, great. Now I can refer out to them. You know, like talking about the cardiovascular stuff, I literally got an email today from a lady that I met on Saturday. She runs a cardiovascular metabolic assessment company in Fitzrovia in London.
Oh,
Very
wow.
very high net, well-to-do area. So anybody that I now get that needs cardiovascular assessments or metabolic assessments, which is that Pinoe equipment, I can say to them, right, go to Fitzrovia, go and work with this lady, go and get your tests done. When she gets the results back, she'll send them to me and we'll build something out. Like, it's just that connection is where what I love this. For me, it's about the networking. I love networking and meeting new people because if you meet 50
Yeah.
people, if you can get relationships out of five of them, that's great. That's five extra relationships you've not had. And there's more people now that you can help. And so
Yeah.
that's why I love these things.
It's interesting because I was having the same discussion with a client who is sort of umming and ahhing about doing a course for ages. So, like, to do it, if you feel like you're naturally called and drawn to it, there's a reason for that. The pathway is opening up, and sadly, and it's not sad actually. It's not sad. It's part of growth, isn't it? Is you will open new doors and see new people and go to these networking events, and it does open your door. It does open your mind, and I feel, some of the best times in business in my life have been from those events as well, and have not done enough of them the last year. So September, I've got a speaking gig. Yeah, speaking gig in September to a wellness event. But
Amazing.
that's the goal. Is it just opens up more doors and conversations, and it's about being the right network as well. I feel like you have to do a few, don't you, Mark? Like
Pushing.
we've both had various many mentors and part of groups. Some that you know instantly you get a really bad vibe. They don't really sound authentic, but that's a part of the journey. You have to go to these things and um, get 2 feet in, get stuck in, and only you'll know at the end of it if it was the right event or not.
Yeah. See, that happens to everybody. I remember, it's funny, I was actually thinking about this the other day. I went to an event in London 2016, 2017, it might have been. And I went there for one specific reason. Gary Vaynerchuk was speaking there.
Oh yeah,
And I love Gary Vaynerchuk. I think he's amazing. And I've been following him for a very, very long time. The event, they didn't tell you when he was on. They just said headline Gary Vaynerchuk. It's 2 days, this event. So I've got there early in the morning on the Saturday, finished at 6 o'clock, shilled at all day long by people like selling shit.
yeah,
This is what I do, this is what I do, this is what I sell, this is what I sell, blah, 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 for all those hours, no Gary Vaynerchuk. I was like, fuck's sake. So I went back the next day thinking, okay, Sunday, he's clearly going to be here on a Sunday, he's clearly going to be the main opening act. He was the last speaker.
Whew.
And he stood up on stage, and this is why I love him. He went, right, first things, for anybody listening or watching, Gary Vaynerchuk, if you don't know him, he's Brooklyn, Bronx, New York, very brash, very outspoken, swears, doesn't care, literally gets up on stage and says, right, everybody, sorry that you didn't realise that I wasn't on until this time on Sunday. I had nothing to do with that. They didn't tell me that was happening and that they'd conned you all into being here for 2 days wanting to see me, and I was the last one speaking. But not only that, there will be no stands at the back of the room that I'm sending you to because I'm not shilling a fucking thing. I'm here to give you my honest opinion and free advice. So ask your questions. And I was like, everyone just cheered. And you could see all the guys that had been on him before that were at the back of the room like, oh my God, I've shilled myself. But it just goes to show, like, I knew straight away I was in the wrong room. I knew it,
Yeah,
but the only reason why I stayed was because I wanted to see him. And that's what I
yeah,
paid for. If
yeah,
he'd been on first, and this was the difference, if he'd been on first, nobody would have stayed for the rest of the people.
yeah,
That's why they put him on last on the last day, because they knew if they didn't, nobody would be there for anybody else.
yeah. There you
And
go.
that's when you know you're in the wrong room, like, really.
Yeah, I remember. It reminds me of my first networking event in Manchester, in London. I literally just started out. I was like, literally went from one year. I was like, what, 6 months into the industry. Was about to start my career at David Lloyd, and there's a guy called. He's really cool. So like so far ahead before anyone else. It's like with the Paul Check era, and
Love Paul Jack.
yeah, the guy's Lazo Freeman.
I know Lazo
Amazing,
Freeman.
mate.
Mate, I've met him so many times. Carry on.
Yeah, he was brilliant. Like some of the guest speakers were brilliant, and we had an amazing guy. And I still go on about him now. A guy called Doctor Voice, who taught Sam Smith how to sing, find his voice. Didn't get credited for it, obviously.
Wow.
George Michael, like these little, like these big stars, and it was incredible. It had such a profound effect on me. And my most events, people do need to sell their programs, their packages, if they deliver that value, of course. But I just wasn't in the position. I literally just fresh out of being in the industry for like what 6 months, not even that. But that gave me the mindset, like, right, I'm gonna get there. There's they're teaching you how to sell 12 grand's worth of packages, like a 12-week transformation package. Some bloke selling like bridal packages for 12 grand, in 6 months. I was like, wow, that's the dream to end towards. Do people hand that sort of money over? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm in the wrong location. This is London. It's completely different. I'm in Cambridge, but yeah, it definitely opens your eyes. And it was like, yeah, do you think you're going to join the mentorship? And like, I only just started. I think I need to get, again, I'm so glad I said this, but like I need to get some time in the trenches. You guys are way further ahead than me. You've done like 5-10 years of personal work with clients, solving problems, being in the trenches. I need to do that. I'm not there yet. Like I haven't really helped the client achieve a big transformation. So authentically, I can't help it. And also, it's opened my eyes that I need to get in shape. Like, I mean, I go to the gym, but not that you look like I go on gym. So I need to work on myself. And that was my first ever event. And, I've been to multiple more than that and all sorts. But you're right. I'm glad I got in the right room, but it just wasn't the right time. I hate saying that. It's the wrong time. But
no, it wasn't. It was the right time.
Yeah.
It was exactly the right time because you wouldn't have had those realizations if you'd gone at a different time.
True. Very true.
Everything happens at exactly the right time. And it's just about how you reframe it and how you change your perspective on that. There's never a wrong time. Everything happens at exactly the right time. You just got to find out what the lesson is and what it's trying to teach you. Yeah,
and one of the guys, great body transformation expert that worked with Ben Affleck for the Batman film. So I did good work. Rihan Jelly, I think, in Indian chap. Yeah, and it's such an amazing event. Like you leave these events like. I remember it was like December, just before Christmas. I was like, oh my God. I was like, my brain had been like, poof, like opened up. Like, oh my God, I'm going to be doing this and doing that. And all these ideas, my notepad was full because you go to these events and your notepad's full. You probably only implement a few things from it, but you don't care because you're writing all 3 pages.
Never look at it again. You're just like, when you dust it off.
Highlighters are out, like circle this. Yeah. But what an effect it has on people, That's the main thing. It has an amazing effect on people.
Yeah, it really does. It really does.
Yeah, but exciting, man. Exciting. So
what's been going on in your world then, Joe?
What has been going on in my world? So in the process of still trying to move house, we are in that limbo period. In the UK, you're basically... You're waiting on your solicitor. That's a sad thing. You're playing a bit of ping pong with your solicitor. And depending on how many people are in the chain, so how many people are in this, the buyers and the sellers. But it's moved forward. I'm excited. We're there. I think it'll be like, we've got a date. And it'll be like, shit, all systems go.
It's tomorrow. You're like, shit.
I hope it's not tomorrow.
It's too hot tomorrow, isn't happening.
These temperatures going up in our loft. Who needs a sauna when you got a loft?
It's actually made me wonder why no one's ever. Maybe somebody's done this that they've ever turned their loft into a sauna.
Well, you only got to go up there and do 10 minutes of it, and you'll be pouring with sweat.
Unreal. It's unreal. I went up before I went away. I went up to my dad's loft to get my suitcase out, and that wasn't even on one of the hottest days. And I was like, Jesus Christ! Like, I literally stepped up there, grabbed my suitcase, stepped down. I was dripping, and I was like, oh my God, absolute madness.
No, it's exciting though.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I look forward to having you around, because obviously, unfortunately, we had to pull out of the first house. It wasn't the right. Didn't feel right. Gut, heart, brain didn't align. Yeah. So we pulled out and we found somewhere that aligned with what we wanted, which is a beautiful lesson, really. That some things work out for a reason. The universe will always deliver. You just got to be willing to accept it and listen to it. So yeah, look forward to having you around and having, I've been planning in my head, like, right, it's a double garage. I'm going to do it properly this time. I'm going to make like a little podcast studio for us, invite you down, have a little corner dedicated, have all the corner for the filming and the gym side of things, and then have obviously the other end for like all your other garage crap, but we'll see. So it's in that exciting phase, like, we're going to do a kitchen maybe. Chloe's very excited, like, I want my Neptune kitchen. And for those who don't know what Neptune kitchen is, just Google it. Just Google it.
I don't know what a Neptune kitchen is.
I think we need a second mortgage for this kitchen.
I'll have to have a little Google at that one. I have no idea what a Neptune kitchen is.
Oh, dude, just, it's, have a little Google if you're listening. But hey, you got to have these goals. You got to have these aspirations and things to work towards. And I'm looking forward to it. I really am. But no, we've been helping clients. We're having some amazing clients that have come on board since I got back in May, who are absolutely crushing it, Mark. We've got people who are like reversing medications. Like some have lost like a stone and a half in the first 6 weeks. I've got one client who listens to our who actually reached out, who listens to this podcast. A big shout out to you, Amy. She's absolutely crushing it right now. Very, very proud of her. Just her level of results. I did share it on my stories a little while ago. She looks unrecognizable, from where she started to now. It absolutely blows my mind. It's so much more than just losing weight, energy. It's just having a massive effect on people's lives. And we get to be the facilitator and all that. And so we're working with some really cool people, really interesting challenges, but also just improving systems. Like, we were discussing this last week, because we were meant to shoot this podcast last week, and it was my fault because of my connection. But marketing has changed. The whole system. What worked a year ago, 2 years ago, does not really work now. And you can get swept up in it, in the latest marketing and trends and whatnot. But I noticed that my systems need to improve. Like, I need to level myself up. So I've been really just trying to change aspects of it, have better things in place, like an actual email list, Mark. Like, we don't use it. It's dormant, so talking to people and helping people. And I miss writing. I miss like just little, not even like a little blog post, but just dumping thoughts on and helping people, helping add value wherever I can. Because I love receiving really cool emails. I don't know if you guys listening to this want to jump on the email list. Got some exciting sort of things coming up, but just getting all that shit done in the back end, the bits that look on the outside, the boring bits, but these systems, they do need to improve from time to time.
Of course they do.
Because if not, you get a bit complacent, you get a bit lazy, and then you get a bit lazy, it shows in your results. So always looking to level up wherever I can. And it's very easy to get stuck in your ways. I've noticed that. Like, no, this is how I do it. It's my way or the highway. And you get left behind, sadly. So that's what we've been doing, is process of moving, improving our systems. Getting some life-changing results. Just some funny problems. Like, again, like we were discussing at the beginning of all this podcast, is the, people who have literally put a lot of money into testing, or they've tried going to the gym, they've tried a diet, and it hasn't worked, or they've hired the coach, the nutritionist, and it's not to badmouth the coach, nutritionist, but it couldn't help them get the root cause of their current health challenges. So having that, is quite a privilege to help these people and actually get them results, get them moving forward. It's been a blessing. I've been loving it. So
I'm pleased for you, brother. That's amazing.
yeah. What else is going on in your world, Mark?
So what else is going on? So I've got a meetup in London on Thursday with a new longevity club, which is going to be very, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing something very different and they need a practitioner. So that's going to be me, which is fantastic. I have a event I'm going to on Friday and maybe Saturday in London called the Longevity Summit.
Yeah.
That I literally just booked today just because I know it's on and it's the first time it's been on, and they're going to have, who's going to be there? Dr. Rangan Chatterjee's talking, Davina McCall, Fern Cotton, and I never remember this guy's name. The body coach, what's his name?
Joe Wicks.
Yeah, man.
Are you talking to that, are you?
Yeah, I'm not talking. I'm just going. I'm going for the networking side of things. But Joe Wicks is going to be there, and I thought, well, if anyone is worth listening to when it comes to scaling a business, it's Joe Wicks, because he did what everyone else is trying to do now, but he did that in like 2012. So he absolutely smashed it. So I was like, right, well, I'd like to listen to him because he might have some wisdom, because I didn't even realize he was still doing it. I didn't even know if he was still around.
No.
He's going to be there, which would be good. Our mutual friend Dan White, he's going to be there within Rhythm, not speaking or exhibiting, but he's coming. Well, we're going together, so he's going to be there. I might go on the Saturday, but it depends on what the weather's like. If it's another beautiful sunny day on Saturday, I doubt I'll be doing that again, because I'd rather be outside in the sun than going back into London. And then there's something happening next week. I've got a couple of meetups from the event from Saturday in London on next week. And then on July the 9th, I am speaking at a longevity club in Portugal. Then there's something else happening in August that I keep blanking on. There's something happening in August. Then there's the Health Optimization Summit in September, where I'll be emceeing, I think, again. And what else is happening? Flats on the sale.
Oh, your flat's for sale?
Yeah, so I had it up with somebody else, but they didn't do a very good job. So I had somebody come around today from a different company, taking more pictures and putting it up on the market again. So that's going up because I need to move from this area now. And just looking now to move somewhere a little bit more off-grid is probably the better way of putting it. You know, for the listeners that have listened to our podcast for quite some time, know that we're very much about the off-grid living and the decentralization and, you know, what's what I'm looking for? Self-sustainability.
Yeah.
What I'm after. I want to be able to grow my own veg. I want to be able to grow my own fruit. I'd like to have my own animals. I'd like to have a bigger property than what I've got now, because I'm doing this so that my elderly parents or my older parents can live with me if they choose to, so that way then they haven't got to pay out mortgage or rent or whatever they're doing. It's time to pay back, so they've got somewhere to be and I can take care of everything and they don't have to do anything. They can just literally live and enjoy life. Like, that's the whole point. And that way then whenever I go traveling, I know I've got somebody there looking after the property, which is nice. So that's happening as well. And what else? Got a couple, so since we last spoke, I've got a couple more web apps that I've been building, which are very cool, which are very different to what we do. They're just little kind of side things. I've actually almost finished writing. This is my fifth draft now for the Quantum Gut book. So that's going to basically talk about my journey through the IBD, how it healed, and then putting things into place to teach people why the quantum approach to gut health is more important initially to start with than this probiotic, that probiotic, or what have you. But then it lays out to people, if you do want to do this properly, like, how do you do it? And so I'm going to build all that out and sell that on Amazon and get all that done. And again, I'm not doing it because I want to earn money from it. I'm just doing it because I think this information needs to be available, and the only way that I can do that is through a book. So I'm going to be doing that. And so once I'm in like my fifth draft of that now, so I'm just finishing that off. And I'm going to publish it myself, so that way it saves people money. That way I can charge less. And what else? That's about it, I think, dude, at the moment.
Cool, man.
That's about it.
Yeah. Love it. Love it.
But there's some things going on in the UK at the moment, which I'm sure we can talk about at some
Well,
point.
yeah, the 10-minute tinfoil hat
10-minute
takeover.
tinfoil hat
Cue,
takeover
cue
style.
music. Here we go.
Welcome to the Tinfoil Hat 10-Minute Takeover, where we're about to unravel the secrets and myths that the health and fitness industry doesn't want you to know. Mark and Joey will be exposing the shocking studies and revealing the unspoken truths that will challenge your perception of health and well-being. So get ready for a mind-bending journey as they shed light on the hidden facts, debunk the myths, and question the status quo. It's time to trade in your tinfoil hat for the wisdom and knowledge you've been missing. Buckle up for the Tinfoil Hat Takeover.
I miss the music.
There we go. Well, we won't be at it. Well, it would have cut into now. So this is the 10-minute tinfoil hat takeover.
It is.
Been a hot minute. So
Where would
yeah,
you
what's
like
been
that?
happening, Mark? What have you got for us today?
All right. Okay. Cool. So
I'm listening in.
all right. So what I wanted to talk about was obviously the thing that's going around at the moment with the social media ban for 16-year-olds and under.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it is being guised as a way to protect children. Okay. So easy thing, really. When they're not a teenager, or when they're a younger teenager, sorry, any teenager that's listening to this, but let's just make them live like we did in the 90s. You don't have a bloody phone. Simple, really. Like, I know you use your Instagram and your Facebook or your Snapchat or your Twitter or your TikTok, whatever you do to have your friends. That's great. But how about we bring back just seeing them in person? How about bringing back, and I know this is going to sound crazy, how about bringing back a random phone call? I mean, it's madness. It's madness, Joe. Like, we used to just call each other up and be like, bro, how you doing? Yeah, I'm great. Let's chat. What you up to? Let's meet up, right? Like, crazy, but you can do that, right? So there's that side of things. So I know they use it for communication and what have you, but I think that can be changed. So just don't get your kids a phone. Simple, really. Don't need to be on an iPad either, really. But then, if you're looking to ban it for protecting children, okay, cool. But you do know that a lot of these people that would groom through these setups will be using Xboxes and PlayStations and Discord. So what are you going to do? Ban kids from playing computer games?
Yeah.
I'm sure Sony and Microsoft would have no part of that. So it kind of defeats the point. But then you have to ask yourself this question. How does and again, this really falls on Meta, to be fair, and every social media platform, they need to vet people better. But how are they then going to separate a 16-year-old or under from me? Oh, that's right. You'll need to prove your identification. Okay, so how does Labour plan to do that? Digital ID. Oh, well, fan-bloody-tastic. So basically what you're doing is, even though we've had like over 3.5-4 million people tell you that we don't want it because we've got national insurance cards, we've got driver's licenses, we've got passports, we don't need any other bloody ID, that's your way of bringing it back in again. So that now for us to go on social media, to use our Instagram to promote our business or wherever the case may be, I now need to have the digital ID. Well, I told you I don't bloody want it. So this, for me, is just a bait. It's just a bait system to get us to sign up to something that we don't want. And the thing that's the most disturbing about it all is once that's in place under the guise of, I'm not going to put it in quotes because it's going to make it sound disrespectful, for protecting children, which it's not, all you've got to do is look at these like rape gang things that are going on at the moment.
Yeah.
None of the people that are telling you it's for the children give a crap about that. So really your focus shouldn't be on reducing the ability to utilize social media. It should be, how about you stopping the rape gangs that's been going on for the past 20 odd years? That'd probably be better. So it's just a way of us then having the digital ID. And once it's in there for protecting children, it's also going to be in there for proving your rights to travel, proving your money, all these other things that they want to control over, how much money you've spent on food, how much money you've spent on electricity, how much money you've spent on petrol or charging your electric vehicle, or how often you've travelled out of the country. It's all then going to be 1984, right? And for anybody that doesn't know what 1984 is referring to, please just go and read the book. It's all going to be about that. That's what it's all about. It's all about making it a completely monetized, CCTV'd system. It's bad enough they're already doing it to anybody that owns their own company. You've got to do this as well, Joe. When you own your own company, you also now have to have a Gov1 ID.
Oh, I have to do that. Yeah. I got threatened with a letter, and
I did. £1,000 fine on a letter.
Yeah, and found out a month later that one Gov got hacked and all our data's been leaked. But who can we sue? How can we hold people accountable?
Right. So all of this is just about controlling you. All of it is about control. Like it's immoral in one aspect, because I don't want to be controlled. What I choose to do with my life, who I choose to do that with, how often I choose to do it, how much meat I choose to eat, how much milk I choose to drink, how many showers I choose to have, how often I want to travel in my car and go and see people, how often I want to leave this country. That's none of your business at all. And let's be real. This is a public government. I am a private citizen. But here's the rub. And this is the bit that people need to question. It is down to the Prime Minister or any governmental body to decide whether or not anybody that is in the government needs to do the same thing. So if you work for the government, you won't need to do it. It's basically what they're saying. And it's the same with the... what was I going to say there? I forgot what I was going to say there, but there's another system that they're going to be bringing out, which is going to be doing the same thing, which is going to monitor everything. Again, the government doesn't have to do it, but we do.
Oracle and the MOD.
That's it. The government doesn't have to do it, but we do. I'm a private citizen. You're a public entity. So what you do, so like I should be able to know what is being said in every governmental WhatsApp chat. You are a public figure. You are a public entity. I'm a private individual. You know, this is the other thing I was going to say. They've given Google and Apple an ultimatum, the UK government, saying, we now demand you give us access to everyone's phone. So it doesn't stop at social media for grooming children and protecting children. They're now going to ask Apple and Google to have access to your phone so that they can look through your messages and your photos for inappropriate photos, which they can then arrest you for and charge you for. I'm sorry, what happens if John Smith's got a nice little picture sent to him from his missus? How's AI going to determine the difference? So now you're scrolling through his pictures, which are private, you've had a nice gander at his missus, and the AI's gone, child porn.
Yeah.
Arrest him. The police have got enough to do. There's crimes to stop for a bloody start. What is all this? And again, that's the bit that government don't have to do that. No. If you work for the government, they don't have to have access to your phone.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Really? So all the dodgy stuff that you do with kiddie porn, you know, all we've got to do is talk about Labour and all the people that got caught for that within Labour. So you don't have to have that, but I do.
Yeah. There was a Freedom of Information Act, wasn't there? Report. And I think there were sort of in the last year there was over 12,000 arrests for social media posts online. What a waste of resources.
Yep. We have in the UK the highest amount of arrests for hurty words on social media.
Yeah. Absolutely bonkers.
But here is the next weird thing. So with this social media ban, they're not allowed to be on Instagram. They're not allowed to be on TikTok. They're not allowed to be on Snapchat. They're not allowed to be on Facebook. They're not allowed to be on X. Do you know what they are allowed to be on?
Blue Sky. Yeah.
Blue Sky. And what's Blue Sky? Left wing. And what is Blue Sky? Transgender. No disrespect. Again, not meaning any disrespect here. But it's okay for them to be on that, but it's not okay to be on anything else.
Mm.
And again, it's just make it make sense. I don't understand.
Mm.
Like, what are you opening them up to by allowing that? Like, again, if incentives dictate outcomes, which they always do, what is the incentive and what is the outcome?
Oh, I agree. I hope there is a positive outcome from this, though.
Yeah, that it doesn't happen. That's the only positive outcome.
No, I hope that more and more kids will wake up, because I feel like we were the lucky generation. So I was born in '94.
Yes.
And I didn't have a phone until I was like 15. No, maybe like 11 or 12. I had a Nokia with Snake on it, and I had to go to the shop, use my pocket money, £10 every now and again, like £10. You felt like a millionaire, Rodney.
This time next year, Rodney.
We go get my Orange SIM. Orange are no longer about. That's how old we are. And yeah, that's how I sort of text, my mates. But I wouldn't just text them. I would go and use my house phone, or just go ride my bike, walk. Even with friends, because we lived in a village, I'd bike into Ely, And you look around now, and it's such a sad sight, because I don't live too far from my old secondary school. There's no one about. It's a ghost town. And what's even crazier is, it's like the scene in Shaun the Dead. All these kids that are walking to school, all on their phones. Looks like a horde of zombies, literally. And I feel sad, because we were so fortunate to not have that part of our lives and indoctrinated into that digital world, know?
Yep, I agree with you, brother.
So I hope some sort of positive, I know it's very, very slim, would be that, do you know what? There's more to life. Because there was a really interesting Channel 4 documentary done by, I've never really watched Channel 4 documentaries. I think, they're, I won't go there. But they had a very interesting documentary that was filmed at school, and the kids had to basically lock their phone in a box prior to starting this. They sort of measured their cognition, their test results, their alertness. They had an aptitude test. A lot of them were failing in class. A lot of them were fighting, very mood, terrible behaviour across the board in this school. So they decided to get rid of phones and put them in a lockbox. So everyone who entered the school had to put them in the lockbox so they could get it at the end. And by the end of it, the test results got better. The cognitive, function improved.
Yeah.
Their, mental well-being, overall improved. Their behaviour changed. They had, some were thinking about their careers and launching businesses. So it can be done, but I feel like it's being done for the wrong reasons, like you said.
Yep. Listen, I'm not against, in any way, shape or form, protecting children. And I'll be the first one to back a system that gets them off their bloody phones. I really would. Because again, you grew up in the 90s. When you were born in the 90s, I was an early teenager at that point. So I was born in 1981. Yeah. So I actually have the privilege of remembering the world without the internet. That's a weird thing. I remember Walkmans and cassette tapes and VHS and walkie-talkies and all those other amazing things. Yeah. And I remember having an amazing childhood and always being out with my friends and riding bikes and being on skateboards and coming back with scuffed knees and all the rest of it. I remember all of that stuff. So I am 100% behind that, because I think one of the worst things that technology has done is it has turned children into consumers. And I think it is a disgusting thing that they've done. 5 and 6-year-olds shouldn't be a consumer. They should just be a child. I think anybody up until the age of early teens, 13, 14, even that might be a bit young. Yeah. Just let them be kids. Yeah, let them have fun. Let them learn. Let them grow. Let them go to youth clubs. Let them go to camps. Let them go to brownies and guides and scouts and whatever else that they need to do. Get them off their bloody phone.
Big up the Cubs.
Right? So my framing to all of this is, do it, but here's the only thing you need to use to make sure that you can still use your social media: a driver's license or a passport. That's it. Because if you're over 17, you've got a driver's license if you're lucky to get one, or a passport. Both of them are more than enough to validate who you are from an identity perspective. So if there was no mention of you can use a driver's license, you can use a passport, or you can use your digital ID. Okay, digital ID, fuck off with that, because nobody wants it. Let us just use the first two. Scrap that because no one wants it. Just let us use the first two. I am up for that. Without a shadow of a doubt, I want to protect the kids from this. And not only that, but I believe that the social media landscape is not social anymore. No. It is just media, and it is just making kids anxious and giving them thoughts that they shouldn't be having at that age of comparison. Oh, this 6-year-old's married to a billionaire, and look, he's driving around in this, and he's got that, and he's wearing this. Kids shouldn't be worried about keeping up with the Joneses. Just let them be kids.
Yeah.
Like, give them that gift, because one of the worst things is when you become an adult, all that shit goes away. You're not allowed to do that stuff anymore. It's not deemed appropriate to be out playing and doing all that stuff. You've got to work and earn and be part of the system. Okay, cool. Let kids be kids. Let them focus on themselves. Let them focus on having fun and learning and enjoying life and having that pure of heart. That's what it should be about. Not about secretly bringing in your digital fucking ID. Like, it's not needed. I'll sign up if I need to use my driver's license or my passport. Not a problem. But I will not sign up if I have to use a digital ID. I'd rather just never use social media again, personally. That's how I stand on it. Because I just don't see the point.
Yeah.
Or I'll just start a social media company where I don't have to have any of that. And I can say to people, right, you can sign up with your driver's license or your passport. Job's done. I'm sure there's somebody out there already thinking about it.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Right? Well, there's Rumble. They're very against it, aren't you? The CEO of Rumble.
Who's the guy that owned at Twitter before he sold it? Who's the guy who invented it? Jack Dorsey. That's his name. He's just released a platform. Same thing. Same as what Twitter is, just without that. And I don't think Elon Musk will make it happen.
No.
But the other thing that they said the other day was that once that's rolled out, they'll also ban VPNs so that kids can't say that they're in America and sign up that way. And they're going to ban the use of AI bots, AI chatbots, for people under 16.
Interesting.
Just like, this is a control state, man.
Bananas.
That's
but like you said, bananas. But hopefully, like we mentioned, there is a positive part of this.
Oh yeah, we've got to stay positive with it all. And
yeah,
we
do.
Framing, but at the same time, just be aware. Just be aware. Anything to do with digital ID, just stay away from it. Just don't be involved in it. I'm not complying. I refuse to.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Amen, brother.
Doing any of that. None at all.
Amen.
None at all.
I think that's a good one to end on, Mark.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good.
I haven't done a 10-minute takeover for a long time.
Yeah. But I've got more. I've got some more batshit bonkers stuff that I've been, researching. So we'll save that for
the next
episode.
one.
Well, yeah, baby.
And I'll let you take the next one, because I'm sure people are tired of me ranting.
Not at all. Not at all. But yeah, a good one to end on, Mark.
It is. And guys, listen, with all of this, that's just my opinion from what I've seen. So if you've got a different opinion, it's welcome.
Yeah.
Everybody's opinion is welcome. We're not precious here. I'm not going to say to you, oh, you've triggered me by having a different opinion. No. Make your comments. Like, start the conversation, because this is how we all learn. This is how we all grow. This is how we all band together. And we can actually start protecting our sovereignty. Like, that's the whole point. If you've got comments, if you've got questions, just pop them in them below, and we'll answer them for you.
Love it. Nice one, bro. All right.
We done?
Stay blessed.
Stay blessed, everybody. So, thank you for joining us for, what episode number is this?
18, man.
For episode 18, we appreciate you as always. Like, share, subscribe, hype, all that beautiful stuff. Bless us with the like button. Bless us with the subscribe button. Turn on the notifications. So I listen to too many people on Instagram, on YouTube saying all this stuff.
Yeah.
But please just spread the word. Share the love. We appreciate it. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for listening. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay blessed and stay well.
Goodbye, everyone.